Glad you could drop.
Fine. Follow shoot! Look what's coming.
Nothing is over! Nothing!
Guys, we're looking at today. Gonna look at something from Ayinger. They've had some. These are the guys responsible for me ever giving out my first 10, and it was on a Belgian style beer of all things. This is their Oktoberfest Marzen. I guess you actually have to use the opener side, and they have some pretty cool bottle caps. I know I have not had one of their Oktoberfests. I also made a Bloody Mary, and it's not perfect. If I was going to have a situation where I was going to be making these for people, you have to have the jumbo shrimp. So again, a nice golden color. Kind of stereotypical of an Oktoberfest. More of a malty-ness to it, but sniffy, drinky, drinky. Cheers. Nice thick maltiness to it. Just coats the inside of your mouth. Okay, missing out on the club was Salty Shellback saying, "Dang, missed the Naked Club. First in was Smile Money. 2 or first?" Harmar says, 6 seconds. 6 seconds, damn. And then he says maybe Smile Money or a keyboard or a keypad. Harmarsh, guess I'll have to do that. Harmarsh, hey, Brubumi and Matt, and extra guest Marshall. Altenda says cheers. EMT Railfran says fourth, and B3. B3 had already been called, and it is a miss. Yeah. Matt said that's a messed up intro. And Smile Money says, well, at least the Germans did not get your Freund. Zeus says, oh yeah. Tardicius says, Ich bin in Beiner. I have a hard enough time with English, okay, you guys? Poco Local says F5. F5. And F5 is a miss. Okay, so Bloody Mary. We start with a couple of smoked cheese sticks. Oh yeah. Let me put this down for a second. So I like the smoked cheese sticks. Man, olives. When I go out, the rule of thumb is Jason's my guy up at Grandma's restaurant, and Jason knows that his tip is almost entirely based on how many green olives show up with my Bloody Mary, or in the case of up there, it's a Prairie Mary. Usually comes over with a bowl filled with them. If you can have them for multiple reasons, the Bloody Mary beef sticks. And then usually a couple pickle spears. And yes, Jeremy, I'll often take a little bit of the pickle juice and just toss that in there when I make the Bloody Mary. Cheers, fellows, girls. And of course, no Bloody Mary would be truly complete without the snit of beer. Some places just arbitrarily give you the cheapest shit that they have on tap. Usually PBR. I'm just kidding, John and Paul. Usually you end up with Bud Light or something like that, and that's okay. I mean, in this particular case, it's pistachio. Some people, like for instance, say my mother, will drink their drink down a little bit and add it to their Bloody Mary. If you're over the border, a lot of times you'd refer to that as a Caesar. Up at Grandma's, they also give you a instead of the smoked cheese, they'll give you a chunk of pepper cheese. I don't think it's pepper jack. I'm not. Oh, and also if you can find them, some kind of a hot pepper, something with a little zest, but not something that's gonna kill you. Okay, smile money. Okay, really vote Matt or Miles off the island. Okay, let me think. Matt? Oh, it's definitively Matt. Definitely Matt. Laugh out loud. Poco, I like riding twos. My dad rode all kinds of short shit, but then again, his bikes were way too fast. He had a Sportster that dynoed at 174 horsepower. My uncle has bad luck and rode across country with threes. A lot of customers rode very hard running threes, which came to or above your shoulders. I know when you first run them, your arms turn to rubber, but after you get used to them, you can run hard. I know going to Vegas, all the crotch rockets want to quit. Well, no, don't get me wrong. If you're gonna go for a long ride, I have just as much of an issue. For a while, I lived in Duluth, and my girlfriend lived in the Twin Cities. So I used to go down and spend what was our weekend at Domino's Pizza. That'd be a Monday and a Tuesday. So I'd go down to spend the weekend with her, and every now and then I'd take the bike down. And a crotch rocket on anything beyond a certain amount of miles is also truly miserable. U.S. Poco Loco. I think Matt's trying to say his family has book smarts and zero wisdom. Politically, again, it's just me, and I don't mean to be offensive, but I will be. At this point in time, anybody that voted for Biden in the first place did zero research, and they voted because they hated somebody. And for the sake of our country, I think that may possibly be the dumbest thing you could do. I have voted for people that I just outright would punch in the face if I met them. But politically, they aligned closer to me than whoever was running against them. So for the greater good of our area and or the country, I was willing to take one for the team, per se. Now, these days, everybody has their little feelings and nobody wants to get their little feelings hurt. So let's vote for the guy who says mean tweets. No, seriously, you are the stupidest people. You are the stupidest people. Especially when I've actually had someone say to me, the country was going in the right direction. I just didn't like him, so I couldn't vote for him. So, two different scenarios. One, less drastic. You're going to have work done on your car. And you heard about this guy who charged a fair wage, was fast, and did impeccable work. But you heard that, he might have been a womanizer, didn't align with you politically, whatever, outspoken in social media, and you would rather go to a mechanic who has a little to no reputation, or in the case of what Biden had, just a zero. In 40 plus years collecting your money, he did nothing but further his and his family's wealth. Period. Nobody can prove me wrong on that. I don't give a shit how much you like Biden. The man has done nothing for this country. The only thing he has done is fattened his coffers and made sure that his family had wealth. Then the other one would be, would you, if something, heaven forbid, say that you had a child that had some kind of a birth defect and something wrong with their heart, and you found that there was a surgeon that had something like a 99.9% success rate. That's nearly the survival rate, by the way, of COVID. Had a 99.9% survival rate for the most intricate heart surgeries. But he was just like Trump. Exactly like Trump. And the only other person that could have performed the surgery was like this retard. Didn't have a very good reputation. And as a matter of fact, in 40 plus years of being a surgeon, there's really nothing good to declare. But that's who you'd rather have. You'd rather have someone like that. So all of a sudden, look at where our country is. Under Trump, we had the greatest economy. The black community had the lowest unemployment rate. Everything that was right was going in the right direction, and everything that was wrong was being canceled out and changed for the better. Our adversaries, oh my, I'm not really into blondes, but I could make an exception. Our adversaries had respect for him. And you could tell what a powerful person that he was. He would go visit a guy that wants to dominate the United States, Kim Jong Little Wong, and the two of them are seen walking in a public area where if they really wanted to take him out, it would have been super easy. Meanwhile, let's go back to the United States. So fearing in all of the fraud that they pulled over on the American electorate, they had to surround the White House in razor wire. I don't know, anybody with a brain should have been able to put 2 and 2 together on that alone. But our society has gotten to the point where they're lazy. And just like with this COVID, you just want to believe the lies put forth. So if an administration is willing to steal the vote from you, all of a sudden now, and you're going to believe the numbers that they're handing back to you. Served on a plate. I hope people will wake up before it is honestly way too late. I mean, Matt was just telling me that more information, because they were waiting until they had more things in place, but the lawsuits are starting. I mean, I'm sorry. If you know anything at all about this thing called the Constitution, you cannot tell people that we don't know what is in here. We have done little to no research on it. There is more things in here that have harmed people than helped people. Research? No, we've done no research. We just rushed this bitch to the point where we could put it in the syringe, and now we're going to tell you that you have to put this into your body. If you want to, well, it started off as big things. If you want to fly, like, I feel sorry because I know how a few people really feel. I won't mention any names, but you'll know exactly who you know exactly that I'm talking about you. That the choice being yours, you would not have done it. But when you're told the only way that you can go be with your family is to have the jab, you have to present your papers. It's unconstitutional. And if there's anything left of this country and our Constitution, the lawsuits will be overwhelmingly successful. And again, I insist that if there's any way you can do it, you need to make sure that you are fired from your position and that you don't quit because you want to be part of a class action lawsuit. If you've been with a job for, say, 20, 21 years, and all of a sudden you don't agree with anything, and every single time another group of doctors and nurses, but most people don't hear about this because the fraud, the resident in office, and all of their lackeys like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, as soon as any truth starts coming out, it is blocked immediately. I put up a video with an alternative viewpoint, and within 15 minutes, I was told it broke community guidelines. Snack if you have them. Found mine. Ape hangers to show off the guns in your wife beater t-shirt. Zippy, damn, give the dog a bite. He didn't have any snacks down here, and it's not like he hadn't already gotten a shit ton of them. Hector? To a HD cat, I had pumpkin donuts from Krispy Kreme. You can too. Walmart. These are YouTube canned responses, Hector, and I'm going with sounds great. Zeus. The Velcro on the top of the hat is so that you can wear an IR reflectors, allowing A-10s, C-130s, and Apache gunships to identify you as friendly. Probably the most important part of the uniform, laugh out loud. I didn't know, Zeus. But thanks. That makes sense. Clyde, whiskey and revolution for all. And then Cobra says hello. Then McLean says the Velcro patch hurts and less than a button under your ear protection headband. I don't know about you sometimes. Seriously. Excuse me. Just doing one shot. I still have some shit to do. Not where a driver's license is required, just for the record. I've been kind of staying away from the Paul John. I like it, and I don't want it to go bye-bye as quickly. And by the way, I did get submitted a battleship layout for the next round. So, Ludwig, thank you. I asked if anybody wanted to set up a board, and he emailed me. I still have to get back to you. I just noticed that. Just noticed that now. I just have to double check which direction that you had. I think you had a thing about where the hinge was, but I appreciate that. Thank you. And now I know that another one of my friends on Disgrace Book is following this shit show over here, and we for the most part interact with each other, basically stealing each other's shit and reposting it. But that's fine. I'm not going to say I'm anything that I'm not. I don't like Facebook. I could give a flying shit. It's the friends, and now once again I have somebody that is a friend in the brew crew that turns out to be a friend that I've had on Facebook. And when under Facebook, if you're using your real name and over here you're using your YouTube name. I have no idea who some people are until, I mean, hell, me and Mr. 27 have been friends for years, and I didn't know that Mr. 27 and who he is in real life. So that's the only reason that I haven't left. And again, Ludwig, if you are interested in being part of the Brew Crew on Facebook Messenger, just let me know, and I will send you, or I'll just kidnap you and bring you into the B&E Brew Crew on Messenger. Just be warned, we share everything from... Now, a few of you have joined and then left almost immediately. There's two things you need to know. One, and the most important, is you can mute all notification, which means if someone goes, I would have stayed, but it just went bing ding 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 ding. When Brad starts posting the girls, the ding 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 ding, I get it. I have it muted. I'm the one that created the group. I'm the admin of the group. I have it muted because it's frustrating. And I've had scenarios where I've wanted to destroy my phone, and I realized that my phone didn't have anything to do with it. It was just doing what it was told to do. So, first of all, if you're in the group or want to be invited back to the group, you do not have to be overwhelmed with all the noise. And he's probably not going to hear me say this, but Multi-Gunman was there for like a few days, and then he was gone, and I started thinking, I invited him, right? But now, it isn't for everybody. Smile Money was one of the very first people that I invited, and Smile Money could, he's like, I'm okay with the girls, but not like 67 of them between 6:50 and 7:02. Again, you can turn notifications off, but maybe you have grandkids or someone that could grab your phone and go, hey, Grandpa, what is this coming out of... So we share jokes, we share political stuff, and we just share a lot of just tasteless... I mean, this girl may or may not even show up in the feed over in the Brew Crew because she's probably overdressed. I'm just saying. I like it. I like it for a lot of the political stuff, and we still have our group, the Deplorables, and it was brought to my attention, and rightfully so, that everything was like being duplicated between the two, and I said, hey, let's keep the Deplorables for our present group. And people get added all the time, and people have also left the group. Unfortunately, the higher number in why you're not in the deplorables anymore, unfortunately, is probably because you're not with us anymore. But again, Ludwig, if you'd like to be part of the shit show, please just let me know. And again, I fully understand if you don't want to be in there or not. Most of the real tasteless shit is still being left over at the Deplorables, and I kind of wanted it toned down a little bit over at the Brew Crew, even though I doubt anybody complains when, you get to see the B side of this picture. No, I got a few projects I still want to do. Hey, surprise, surprise. It's not gun related or Vivian VMAX related. I did get a chance yesterday, not really to give her a thorough shakedown, but I'm telling you, getting the stock handlebars off of the VMAX improves multiple things. First and most important is the level of comfort or the riding position that I was looking for. What really surprised me is it had bars that went up and then out at an angle towards you, obviously. And Miles, who everything he owns is either a Gold Wing or a Harley, and they've got some pretty broad and high handlebars. And in the rides that Miles has taken Vivian out on, he had basically the same bitch that I did. The handlebars felt narrow, and because of the angle, it felt like it was trying to like force your arms into your rib cage. Now with the drag bars, and I seriously was second thinking myself, going, I've always said that if the day ever came that I could start making a VMAX my own, it was going to have broomstick bars, straight ass, just broomstick bars. And then at the last minute, I ended up ordering the drag bars. And I have to say, I'm really glad I did, because they're just a little bit of an angle. But if you hold your hands out, the natural position is a subtle angle. Now straight isn't as natural. If I just try to be comfortable and I just look at how my hands are positioned, it's almost exactly what these bars do. Just a little bit of a rake, and there's no rise to them at all. So it forces me a little bit more forward, but not anywhere near what, say, a crotch rocket or something like that would be. And it actually moves your arms out a little bit. If you take two handlebars and measure from end of the bar to the end of the bar, the drag bar and the stock bars were the same, but because of the angle that it moved in, they just felt so much more narrow than the drag bars. The only thing I can't believe I'm actually having a hard time finding any, is I need a pair of 7/8 just slip-on grips. I wish there was still a name on the ones that are on there. I would see if I could just order a brand new pair of those. Ones that are on there are worn. Some of the rubber is starting to, they need to be replaced. But everything I've looked at, Miles picked me up a pair, and I really appreciate it. And then they mischarged them, so I'm probably not going to return them. I'm just going to give them probably to my neighbor Jordan, who has a dirt bike. But the dirt bike style slip-ons they usually have a really big, that inner flange that the inside of your fingers would touch, and a street bike or a road bike set of slip-on grips. These are 7/8 bars. So technically, the left side is a 7/8 grip, and the side on the throttle side is a 1-inch, because I am leaving the plastic assembly, the sleeve that's on it right now. There's nothing wrong with it. It's tied into the cables perfectly, and it's just a little bit bigger. So you get grips that are 7/8, but technically the throttle side is going to be a 1-inch, because it has to slip over the plastic tube that is connected to the throttle. Right now I put them back on there, and at least as of yesterday, the passenger side I could still spin it, and it's probably because it's just getting worn and it's been peeled off of the handlebars and then pushed back onto these. One of the little tricks that you can use to put rubber grips on handlebars, because if you do nothing, it will not want to go on to the handlebars. In the exact same fashion that once it's on, you don't want it to come off. But one of the little cheats, a lot of people will say soap, but soap leaves a residue. Soap can still be a little bit slimy. one of the little hacks that you can use is hairspray, because when you spray it on, it works as a lubricant, but because it's an aerosol, it dries. It doesn't leave any residue behind unless you stack it all up like Christine can do. You know, eventually you can stand shit up in it, but overall, just one little misting. So it sort of works. It sort of works as a glue. So I have been on eBay, on Amazon, and several sites, and I'm trying to find a set of these grips that I find a set and it's like, okay, those are rubber grips and they got red anodized aluminum bands on them that would tie in with the rest of the bike. Brilliant. And then I read the reviews and it's like, oh, these are just garbage. I'm like, back to zero. So that, and I don't remember if I think I made the comment that, so I got the drag bars on. I had to reuse the older grips. Yesterday when I got back, I ran up, and part of my I owed Samantha is because of that rush job, and Matt bitching yesterday. Oh, you weren't even home. Well, she has panties, YouTube snobs. I owed her some. In exchange for the work that she did putting the tires on, I told her I'd help her clean the Accurate, and even at that, when I finally said, you know what, someone's going to be a little bitch by the time I got back, and of course someone was a little bitch by the time I got back, I was gone. I utilized a 3-mile ride, 3.5 mile ride up to the shop and back. And the one thing that has been sometimes it's the little things. When you reach for the throttle on your bike, I want the second that the throttle starts to move, the bike gains RPMs, and there was a little bit of a dead space. I'm guessing that if you went around to 100 motorcycles, you'd probably find 75 to 90 that are exactly the way Vivian was. But that's not good enough, and that's me. And so I always adjust out zero lash when it comes to the throttle. I want to know when you grab that grip, there's zero movement before it starts to yank open all of those carburetors. Now this can come back to bite you. I had a Kawasaki Bighorn F9F 450 Enduro, and you had to leave a little bit of deflection, a little bit of lash there in that throttle, little bit of a dead zone, because otherwise, when you turn the bike to the left, it would go, and no matter what I did, I could not stop it from doing that unless I left just a little bit of a slop in that cable. But I noticed with Vivian, she was more than happy to play along, and by turning out all of that dead spot, I have it where I want. So, drag bars, the mini fairing, the fastest I may have gone was 50 miles an hour, and I didn't notice any extra buffeting. I was also wearing a helmet this time, which typically weighed 99% of the time I do. There's just some days where it's like, you know what? I know it's wrong, and I know this could be the day, but you know what? God damn it, this is America, and if I don't want to wear a goddamn helmet right now, I'm not gonna. But yeah, so painted the mesh screens on the air snorkel, on the air intakes, the snorkels. Just kind of gave it a little bit of a sinister look to it, and I'm tapping out for mods to it this year. Miles sent me a picture last night. The new light bucket came in, so we'll probably be somewhere in here tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, trying to retrofit the right kind of light bucket so that the big badass LED that he got me will work in there, because it won't work in the stock bucket. So I'll do like I normally do though. Everything stock that I take off the bike will go into a bin, and if it ever got to the point where I'd want to return it to stock, I can. I don't see that day. I mean, everything I've done so far has just made it more badass than it already was. Oh really? Oh really, Hector? I got something you can look at. Hang on, everybody. Oh, hang on. Let me move this. Doesn't work so good that way. I gotta get the shirt in there for him. That's funny, Jeremy. I like to solve the puzzle. Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck him. He's a fraud. The whole thing's a fraud. If you think that 80 million people voted for oofda. Zeus. The Matt intro made my crummy weekend so much better. Thanks, Matt, for being a good singer. Laugh out loud. Oh, the perfect bite. McLean. I hate how Americans are considered decadent. Now hand me another rum-infused eclair unsubbed. McLean, my dad's name is Marshall. By the way, Matt, see how much I believed in you? I said 3 months. Come on, show me your cock. McLean, Matt, got a little uppity. Heel, Matthew. Eric, you have 2 disobedient bitches in the basement with you tonight. McLean, you're a jerk. I almost just got spicy Bloody Mary out my nose. Steven, you need a GoPro and do bike vlogs. That is the plan, just probably not this year. I don't have time to get things in place. I don't have the proper stuff. I mean, I can just put the... Damn it. I can just put the camera on my helmet, I guess, and who cares if I say anything, right? Steven said if a 747 flew into the White House, Biden would be safe because he's 40 miles away in a basement. Wade, patch on top and sides is used for color-coded reflectors that luminance when seen through night vision to identify team members. Salty says, that's what Marines who were patrolling Haiti told me too. Theodosius, what we've got here is a failure to communicate. This is true. And Theodosius, I'm sorry I've been lacking on the whole cowbell thing, but if you're listening late at night and you have headphones on, please turn down the volume and look at that. 3, 2, 1. Steven, we need to start seeing pay stubs so we can know for sure that Matt's working. Well, due to the hours that he's keeping, either he's a late night prostitute or he actually has the job. Now this going to days thing, that could be a ruse. Harmarsh, well, Matt has rejoined Julie Andrews for everyone. Harmarsh, Brubumi, does the VMAX get the same mileage as a Sportster? 120 to 150 miles per tank of fuel. Brubumi, the Dodge Demon will run the quarter mile in 8 seconds and was banned by NHRA. It comes from the factory 800 plus horsepower, but you can option it to 1,000 horsepower. Better invest in a tire manufacturer. Well, I don't know what the tank size is on a Sportster, but supposedly the VMAX has a 5.5 gallon tank. Now it'll run 3.5 gallons before triggering you to flip to reserve and turning on the fuel light. So 3.5 gallons of primary and yet a whole 2 gallons on reserve. All I know is I had 110 miles this last time, and it definitely is a thirsty bike when you partake in large quantities of fuckery. Salty, the hills are alive with the sound of nakedness. Wade says you must have a ton of laundry detergent. Salty, not sure about the Velcro on the top of the hat from Ed you're wearing, but I know when I was deployed off the coast of the shithole called Haiti, the Marines had little reflector Velcro patches on their hats. I was told it was so they could be identified as friendlies through night vision. See, when I don't know shit, I just ask a question, and I love that shit. DFC, top Velcro is for IR patch. Smile Money, Matt talking about stupid people. Now, that is some funny shit right there. Salty, when I was in Pittsburgh, before the stolen election, there was a section of one of the neighborhoods with a bunch of Brandon signs along with BLM signs. And this was mostly pastry white neighborhood. I was there after the stolen election, and not one sign was still up. Buyer's remorse? Going with yeah. DFC, Southwest Airlines Pilots Union is standing up to the medical tyranny. I'm reading hints of canceled Amtrak routes as well. It might be happening. Alright, it has to. People, remember what Ron Paul said. They can't fire all of us. So if you're on the fence, if you want to go bah, or be a patriot, please be a patriot. The rest of us are counting on you. Armarsh, Brubomi, try being a small kid in both elementary and high school. I got into more than my fair share of scraps. One scrap was with a coworker. I beat his ass in high school. 2 nights later, I punched him out at work. One of the older guys bear hugged me so I couldn't jump on him to continue beating his ass. The next day, we went running to the management. The assistant manager told him if he would have separated his head from his body. He looked at me and told me no more fighting. Oh, that's no fun. Armarsh, screwed out of the outro girl. Fuckers. Brad, hell yeah, brother. Hashtag fuck Joe Biden. Oh my God. Salty. The other thing the lamestream media and fakery are not telling us is that the majority of people who had adverse effects from the Rona is that they are usually morbid obese and have a vitamin D deficiency, which makes sense because morbidly obese people are probably not getting out in the sun as much as and getting the natural vitamin D. Read more button. This also makes them more likely to have adverse effects from any virus and not just Rona. So you can actually decrease the symptoms for the virus by simply getting some sun, exercise, and taking multivitamins with D along with other essential vitamins. But that's cheap, so don't do that. And oh shit. It's funny your comment didn't get pulled for breaking community guidelines. Sharky, Eric, and Matt on the dog as the dog sitters. The whole new type of shit show waiting to happen. Sharky, F3. Oof. F3 is a miss. Sharky, laugh out loud. Marshall did a Joey down the basement stairs. Did he also looked at stuff to blame? No, the dog was much more of a man than Joey. Smile money? Damn, Matt didn't get his entire nap. No. Sharky, F4 was indeed the hit I meant. Shots called in the review prior to you leaving were F2, F3, F5, F6, G4. Back when we had a few more shooters. Shoot us! Smile money. Will not let me post links from the Mayo Clinic. Yet they let you say anything you want. I think the YouTube agrees with you. Or maybe you want to spread misinformation to people that think like us on the majority of issues. Sharky, SH, Outro Babe Robbery. I'll have to look at which he was. Wade says, I think Matt is jealous of Vivian. No wonder he sat through most of the review. All the wine he had got him dizzy. Nihap, between you, Miles, and Sam, you can do your own motorcycle tires. Shop charge a lot of money, and it's fairly easy. I'm willing to give it a shot. So far, everything done has been done by me. Mr. 27, 60th. Mr. 27, damn, Matt ruined the sound of music now. Mr. 27, nice intro, babe. Mr. 27, how many miles per gallon do you get on the VMAX? Well, it's rumored to be 30 to 32. Here, let me do this. What the fuck do I care? Let's see. Where's still my calculator? I'm getting 30 miles per gallon so far. Ooh. Salty shellbacks. Salty shellbacks just cutting straight to the chase. Oh yeah. It's good shit though. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a nice swimsuit. So that's what you can do when you know how to crochet. Carry one, stitch one, slap that ass. Mr. 27, pre-gaming is for going to the bar, Matt. You might need help. Mr. 27, natural immunity is 27 times better than the arm poke, according to the Israel study. Oh, come on. If you didn't get that from CNN or the CDC, it has to be bullshit. David says Michelle and Granny got matching tattoos of my name on there, and he never finished. Okay. We need to get done here. Overall flavor, and as it's warming up, it's actually getting better. Oh, that maltiness. Oktoberfest, Marzen, from Ayinger. This is really good. Oh, what was the alcohol percentage? I never gave you that. 5.8% for an Oktoberfest. This is one of the best I've had so far. I would give this now as an Oktoberfest. I'm going to give it a 9.5. As an overall beer, still pretty good. I'd probably give it a 9. Weird, huh? Okay, going to the club, and then we are gone. Salty says, naked club, biatches. Then he says, there's a Datsun called White Zombie that a guy converted to all electric car, and he smokes every gas engine car. Does the quarter mile in about 10.2 seconds. And he has a link.
just a goosebump.
So good to make a devil cry.
Wow.
That car came off quick. You don't hear nothing. That's the funny thing. Usually when you hear a car running the 10 seconds and blowing my skyline that bad, usually it's not quiet.
Yeah, kind of like a drill on steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like a drill on steroids. No, there is no arguing with electric. Me and Christine were talking about it. I go, hey, when you turn the coffee grinder on or you pull the trigger on a drill, any of those things, do you hear it wind up like when you mash the accelerator on the car? Nope. There you go. Just 0 to full. If anything, it's artificially governed down so that it just doesn't put you in the back seat. Again, I should do a search to see if I can find it. I was so bummed out that it didn't turn into a series. It was a show called Sucking Amps, and they took a mail truck, just an impossible, looked like a toaster with wheels, and it never won a single race because every time it broke something. But it was up against a 1,500 horsepower Viper, and every time that it ran, it was a half a track ahead of the Viper. And then something would break because it couldn't handle it. None of the rest of the parts could handle the load that this thing was capable of putting out. And, if you know what I mean. And NIHAP says, club, ? Yes, sir. I'm going to hit the refresh button one time, and NIHAP stands as the last. And, okay. One fast thing. So at the gun show, I was seeing these SKSs in the $1,200 to $1,400 range. Not a single one of them could have matched the beauty of Ed's rifle. So, and fuck Joe Biden.